You know the culture of secrecy we have here in Silicon Valley, where you don't tell people your numbers, you don't tell people your business model, you don't tell people the feature you're going to launch next.
Isn't that dangerous?
It's really dangerous. The stories of founders making tons of money and living lavish lives and investors doing super well have all started to attract more and more attention, more and more posers. And with that attention comes sloppy discipline and a ton of money. And so back, think about the early days of Y Combinator. 12 companies, demo day lasted all day. Everyone ran live code. There were 15 of us in the room investing. We could ask questions, walk up and try it during demo day. And the deals didn't get done that day. We would work on it. Demo day today, there's, 80 companies a class, 450 investors, 3 minutes, no live code. And those deals, half of them are done before they even present at demo day. I think overall it goes to a desperation on behalf of a lot of investors to just be part of this game. A lot of those companies are raising that probably shouldn't raise. They're probably not a good company. They're taking money away from companies that should probably use that money. They're taking talent away from companies that could use that talent. They're taking investor and advisor attention away. And so I think there's a lot of waste happening in the Valley right now. Some of these valuations and the accessibility of capital in some of these places is just bananas. It's an amazingly rigged game, the investing game. Where this all comes together is I don't think the public market's going to hold up forever. I don't think the global economy is going to support the market being open. I think by the end of this year, the public market basically closes down for anything with quality lower than an Uber, frankly.
So what happens when that happens? What do you mean by that?
You're going to have a bunch of companies sitting around with no exit paths. There's going to be down rounds.
But you think by the end of the year, something's going to...
I think there won't be
the tide's going to turn.
Yeah, by the end of the year, the market seizes up. And so, and then I think there will be some pain out here for the companies themselves.
So what happens to all of these unicorns and decacorns? Like, how many of these are horses masquerading?
I think there are naive investors with no discipline throwing out term sheets at 9 figures right now with no diligence. I'll give you an example. Icahn investing in Lyft, his publicly stated rationale was, well, if Uber's worth 40 or 50, then Lyft must be worth 2. Well, if you really look at this thing, it's not going to be a 2-horse race. Lyft doesn't survive, and Travis is never going to buy it. Lyft goes away.
You think Lyft is gone?
Lyft doesn't survive this. Uber is a better company with better math, better predictive supply, better brand, lower pickup times, higher quality of service.
You are an Uber investor.
I'm a huge Uber investor, but I would be a bigger Uber investor right now on that thesis alone. I would never buy Lyft shares because I just don't think they're going to be able to compete.
So Icahn just made a big mistake.
I think he made a big mistake. This is a winner-take-all game, and Travis will take all.
Is there going to be a downturn?
Is there going to be a downturn in Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
Yes. It's kind of inevitable that the funds right now that are putting a lot of this money to work here aren't going to see it all back.
Are we in a bubble? Is the bubble going to pop?
There's multiple ways to define that bubble.
Yes, so or yes?
No, yes, so. A lot of these companies are going to go away. There will be impacts for real estate and stuff like that. Do I think it's going to be like the year 2000 when you can't get a U-Haul here because they've all gone one way out of town? No, because I think this really is the epicenter of innovation, but it's a little out of whack right now.
What do you think is the biggest problem in Silicon Valley that's not being talked about right now?
There's nobody normal left here anymore. So all the actual normal regular people have been priced out. Like the artists can't live here anymore. The musicians can't live here. You don't even meet nurses or doctors, frankly, can't afford this city. And that's messed up. And I just think the biggest problem here is computer science programs are so lucrative now that kids don't need to pay money to go to them. They don't need to get jobs, so they've never waited tables. They've never parked cars. And so now we've got a generation of software engineers working at these companies who have very little compassion.